I have cat hair all over my face. Oh my god. It's in my nose, it's in my eyes. Stop shedding, bitch. I can't speak it. Nope, never my cat. Nope, my cat. Pepper. Pepper. Fine, bitch. Oh, now you look up. What the fuck? Okay, so I'm too lazy to get up. But, I figured I would read chapter 1 of my book. I don't even know if you want to hear it. So, even if you don't, oh well. It's my blog, damn it. Right. And this is a very flattering angle for my, double chin. I'm just gonna read like this, so you can't see it. I'm just gonna read like this, actually. Okay. Chapter 1 of My Nightingale's Heart. In between being asleep and awake, I rolled over on my side and wrapped my arms around the pillow I was using. Not a minute later, I heard a ringing in my head of an oncoming migraine. I slid my head under the pillow, trying to block out the noise, but Danielle still made a connection. Good morning, little nightingale, I groaned. I hate you. Our words were exchanged internally as not to disturb the man sleeping next to me. I'm sorry, but I have to talk to you. About what? I rolled over again, keeping my head under the pillow. Nathaniel killed a woman. My head shot up and knocked my pillow off the bed. When? We just discovered her body today, but she's been dead at least 18 hours. I rubbed my face with the palm of my hand and Joshua stood next to me. Why her? He hasn't killed us since the late 1800s. There we go. You should come and see her yourself. Be ready in half an hour. Then the connection was cut. I looked over to the clock and read 2:36 a.m. I groaned and threw myself across Joshua's bare chest, waking him. I'd obviously startled him. Why are you up? Daniel wants me to go and look at a body he found. I ran my finger down the bridge of his nose and smiled. Do you want me to come with you? Eh. I kissed his chest. I just like waking you up when I have to get up. Joshua chuckled and threw his arm over his face when I got up. I ran all over the room, grabbing my jeans from an armchair, a tank top from the dresser, and socks from the dining room table. I outstretched my arm and ignited a small gathering of flame to light my way into the bathroom to shut the door behind me. My finger's huge. I fixed my hair, got dressed, and put makeup on in 10 minutes, and rather loudly. You good in there? Joshua asked from the bed. I'm fine. I left the bathroom to hunt for my boots and found them under the bed. This is too much effort this early in the morning. Are you sure you don't want me to go with you? Joshua looked at me with sleepy eyes. Look at my baby. He nodded and closed his eyes again. Wait. Fuck! Joshua looked at me with sleepy eyes. Okay. I moved hair from his forehead and kissed his cheek. I'm sure you stay in bed and sleep. He nodded and closed his eyes again, falling asleep quickly. I grabbed my coat and purse from beside the door, leaving the flat and meeting Daniel outside. Good morning, Nightingale. Good would have been at 10. I got comfortable before he took off. The radio was off, so I concentrated on the sound of the engine to stay awake. So who was this woman? Well, she was very much like you. A police officer, good relationship, element bender, great family. Go back. Bender? Daniel hesitated, but nodded. She didn't know how to use the elements. So why was she a threat then? She wasn't. I nodded and leaned my head back. Wow. We wad. We had driven the road so many times in Ottawa, it was like clockwork. I would be riding in the back seat at 5 years old, and Daniel would be smiling at me from the front. I called him Papa, but I was adopted. It took us an hour to get to a deserted place, but neither of us cared. We're here. Isolation at last. Danielle turned off the engine and looked at me. You haven't removed her body yet. I smiled at my father. Danielle, there aren't any zombies in Ottawa, but maybe in Quebec. Where was I? Oh, but maybe in Quebec. I got out of the car and met Daniel on his side to begin our walk to a pile of stone, wood, and glass covered with a thin layer of snow. I glanced over at Daniel, who had his eyes fixed on the path ahead, and cast a protective around both of us. I stumbled over invisible rocks and branches, but kept my balance. It was a shorter walk than anticipated. A few feet in front of the building, Daniel stopped and turned to face me. Are you sure you're ready? Yes, Daniel, I've seen many dead bodies before. I walked into the disaster and saw broken picture frames, snapped pillars, and insulation from the walls. In the middle of a wreckage, a crater created by piles of rocks stood out. I walked over and saw who Daniel was talking about. Hold on, I gotta fix this typo. A young woman, no older than I was, looked up at me with an expression of death. Her eyes and mouth were wide open, but her pupils were so small it's like they weren't there. They were an Arctic blue. Her mouth was frozen in a perpetual scream, pleading for the help that never came. What's going to happen to her body? My stare didn't move from the corpse. She will most likely be cremated. Daniel looked at me as I continued to stare. Her name was Eva. I looked away from her to a nearby stream and saw a faint glow of blue. I continued to stare, but it never faded. It was probably an abandoned flashlight. So, yeah. That was chapter 1 of my book. And I'm sure it was in this flattering pose for the entire time. It was very awesome. Yeah. Although, probably should have read you the prologue, but the prologue sucks. I am not gonna lie, I hate the prologue, and I've rewritten it 3 times. But anyway, yeah, it's after 2 in the morning, should probably go to sleep. I don't wanna. I've only written 1 chapter. In the course of like 2 days, I've written 5 chapters in my book. Fuck yeah! So, yeah. Cat butt. Cat butt. Is that a butt? Or is that a shoulder? I can't tell if that's a butt or a shoulder. Okay, that's his head, I think. Oh no. Whatever. Alright, so, yeah. Let me know what you think.